so today, what is this symbol mean? Please do not put square root. This starts with an R. You better look it up in the book. Give an example of two numbers that are perfect squares. I'll give you one example. Like, for example, 36 is a perfect square because if you take the square root of 36, it comes out to exactly 6 with no decimal after it. So you need to come up with two numbers, two examples of what are perfect squares. You cannot use 36. I've done that already. Alright, not perfect squares. My example would be 17, because when you take the square root of 17, it comes out to a big decimal. Okay. Alright. Here we go, got those. In 3 and 4, give an exact square root of a given number and approximate square roots from it to the nearest hundred. So, what you need to do, the exact one, let's find our calculator. Okay? Well, I can't move my calculator. If I take 41 and I take the square root of it, it comes out to 6.4. It doesn't come out to a number. So the exact one is the square root of 41. Can't get any more exact than that. Then you do approximate, round it to the nearest hundredth. I did not put up there 6.4031, blah blah blah. Okay, so now here is my hundredths place. Looking to the next, 3 is just not big enough to change it, so I'm going to get rid of those. If I wanted to get rid of the 0, I could. Alright. Same thing with 4. Do the exact same thing. The area of a square is 517 feet. For example purposes, I'm going to change this to 625. Okay? And I have my square. And my inside of my square is 625. I made it so. Feet squared. Alright, in order to find the length of the side, this is really saying side times the side equals that. So S times S equals that. But you could also say, instead of S times S, you could say S squared equals 625. Alright. What is the opposite of squaring? Well, it is square rooting. So S, the side would equal the square root of 625. Okay, that would be my answer. The length of the side rounds to the nearest hundredth. Well, I'd actually have to take the square root of 625 and see what decimal place it came to. That's tenths. Hundredths. I need to round it to that. Alright. Make sure you redo that all with 517. Alright. Evaluate without a calculator. These are things you should know. For example, square root of 49. You should know that 7 times 7 is 49. So that's 7. Square root of 1 is 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8. Same for all of these. You should know all of these. Okay? This one. If, for example, I have the square root of 7 times the square root of 7, it's really saying that that equals 7. Okay, so how can you put that into there? Or use that for that? Alright. As we are going further down, we have S and T, where S is 10 and T is 50. So you need to take 10 times 50 and take the square root of it. Over here, same thing, replace S with 10, T with 50. Make sure you know that it's multiplication between those two. If an object is dropped and it falls d feet in t seconds, then t equals square root of d over 16. If an object were dropped from the top of an Empire State Building, which is this tall, all I'm going to take the ground. You gotta put that number or D and you will find T. Alright. What does the square root property tell you about that? Okay, square of the square root property is just like I said. Square root of 7 times the square root of 7 equals 7. Give you another example. The square root of x times the square root of x will equal x. Okay. You've also got this to deal with. Okay. You could have, what's the square root of 5 squared? These two things cancel each other out, so it would just be 5.